Hello everyone and welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice. Oops, I forgot to mention the registered trademark. Let's repeat that. Phoenix Wright, registered trademark, Ace Attorney, registered trademark, Spirit of Justice. There we go. Much better. Alright, so let's begin the trial of Maya Fey. Man, a reunion that goes bad. Seriously. Feels like Maya cannot catch a break. Like, whenever it's a reunion between two main characters that we've known for a very long time, it's supposed to be a good moment, but who'd have thought that it would come to this, really? I mean, it always, like, whenever a reunion between them happens, it's always interrupted with a situation like this. And oh well, it's a visual novel story, so, and we're still waiting on an anime, by the way, at least season 3. Come on, make it happen, for crying out loud. Come on. All right, so anyways, let's enter the courtroom in the kingdom of Kurain for our first trial. So without further ado, let's load this data and begin. Alright, here we go. So we're now at the accused lobby, not the court lobby. So we're at the High Court of Kurain accused lobby. I wasn't able to find any conclusive evidence yesterday, but if I can figure out Lady Kira's motive for threatening the High Priest, then maybe. Because, well, also keep in mind, even because if Phoenix has evidence, so will the prosecution, and when they present their explaining, it's not only Phoenix's job to find contradictions, not just in the witness or the defendant, mind you, but they even have to find contradictions within the prosecution, the prosecution's statements as well. So yeah, no one, so ain't no their word is absolute nonsense going around. Nick, today dot. Don't look so down, Maya. I'm going to defend you with everything I've got. You would do well to seize this insanity while you still can. Oh, it's Rafa. I keep forgetting. Well, whenever you see a question mark, you can't ever know who's talking. So, as I said yesterday, I'm going to defend my client in court. Well, know this: you shall not witness a miracle of the sort that occurred last time. Oh, you're about to be surprised, Nina. The moment she is found guilty, you too will be found guilty of abetting the accused. I never claimed to be a miracle maker, but I am good at discovering the truth, which is in red. And unlike miracles, the truth is always waiting to be found. The truth, you say? Then it seems you have chosen your fate. This shall be your very last trial in your dreams, Nina. Prepare to be shocked Nick, I'm going to prove you innocent, Maya. You'll see. After all, you have to introduce the plumbed Punisher, warrior of Neo Twilight Realm, to the folks back home, right? Right. I may be a defendant this time. Don't you mean for the third time? I'm sorry, but it is the truth. She has been framed for murder how many times now? This is actually her third time. Like I said, she can't catch a break. Seriously. But I'll be by your side like always, Nick. Thanks, Maya. This place is tough on lawyers, but it's soft on the skin. Sorry. I'll need all the help I can get. Plus, it's always a good to have you on the team. Well, oh, that was Phoenix. Well, it's time. Let's go. Alright, here we go. Let's approach the court. Oh, I'm sorry, the High Court of Kurain. Court is now in session. All rise. And be seated. Let the trial of Maya Fey begin. The defense is ready, Your Majesty. Dots? Is that all you have to say, Nayuta? Seriously? Is it supposed to be like Morse code? Duh, 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 duh? That kind of thing? Huh? Or are you sleeping? 'Cause you stood up all night long eating burgers or, I don't know. Quiet. I can't, you see, Prosecutor Asad Mahi is absorbed in silent prayer? Great. The trial's barely started and the judge is already mad at me. He's very devout of our prosecutor. Why is the accused standing over there? Oh, well, Your Majesty, in addition to being the accused, she is also my assistant. The accused is your assistant, you say? Well, truth be told, I referred to the last 3 games. Well, the Phoenix Rite trilogy, where basically Maya has always been Phoenix's assistant during trials. So, hey, very well then. A criminal does indeed make a fitting partner to a lawyer with a defiled soul. You don't know anything about Phoenix. You know nothing. He's a lawyer. That's it. But you don't know anything about Phoenix. It's basically what they see is what they want to believe. They only believe what's on the outside, but I don't think they believe what's on the inside. I mean, come on. Throughout the years, we know that Phoenix is a good person. Sure, he has his ups and downs most of the time, but he is a good person. So he is kind at heart. But no, when it comes to this place, well, they're blinded. Well, not like, you know, not like they're like everyone is blind, but they're blinded by other circumstances. That wasn't very nice. Yeah, well, bad-mouthing lawyers seem to be a custom of sorts here in Kurain. I must say, I am Surprised to see you still here in Kurain, Mr. Wright. Oh, excuse me. Okay, there we go. Throat, sorry. And even more so to find you in the Hall of Justice once more. So the Justice League is here? Really? I cannot fathom why you would willingly risk your life in yet another trial. The answer is simple, your Majesty. I am a lawyer, and this is what lawyers do. Although, to be frank, I'd rather be anywhere but here right now. Such foolishness. Prosecutor Sadmati, are you ready to begin now? Yes, your Majesty. The prosecution is ready. Let us begin without further delay. But first, I promise you both this. I will cast your wicked souls into the fires of Hithel. Thus shall the soul of the victim attain salvation. Ooh, scary. Yes, you are a funny one, aren't you, Prosecutor Sadmahi? Splendid. I would expect nothing less of you, Prosecutor Sadmahi. Please save the victim's soul, Prosecutor Sadmahi. Punish the wicked lawyer who dares to stop these last rites. Ah, kain sa la boca, the lot of you. I think I'll pass on that whole fire and brimstone deal. But I'm not surprised by your words or stance, considering what Papalos told me about you. So, it was you who instilled that putrid lawyerly guile within him. Putrid? What? He too must face the fires, lest his soul be lost to redemption. Oh, please. But I shall send you on ahead, so that he will not be lonely when he arrives. Sorry, but I'm afraid it won't be that easy. People say I never know when to give up. That's true. Nervous, Maya? A little. Feels like it's been ages since we stood side by side like this in court. Too bad I'm the defendant. Don't worry. We haven't lost a case together yet. You're right. Let's get this everything we've got, Nick. Now then, Prosecutor Sadmahi, would you please explain the case at hand? Of course, Your Majesty. Let us begin the last rites of the victim. Maya Fey has been charged with the crime of murder. The victim of her heinous crime was High Priest Trust in Me. He was conducting the purification rite when he was brutally slain. And the cause of death? Let us review the victim's autopsy report and the crime scene photo, shall we? The cause of death was blood loss from a stab wound delivered to the abdomen. The murder weapon was likely the war-bat dagger, which was used in the rite. However, the weapon has yet to be found, though the scene was thoroughly searched. A sacred relic used as a tool of murder? The Holy Mother's wrath shall be most severe. The murder itself took place at the height of the purification rite. The accused had donned Lady Kira's sacred robes, and the victim was there to offer prayers as a high priest of Kurainism. During the rite, the victim and the accused were the only two at the inner sanctum. Sanctum. Sorry, I can be a bit immature sometimes. Therefore, the only person who could have slain the victim is Maya Fey. I must say, that does cast a great deal of suspicion upon the accused. Indeed. Now then, allow me to submit this diagram of the crime scene as evidence in this case. Alright, so we get our next piece of evidence, the inner sanctum diagram. A diagram of the scene of the high priest's murder. It shows where the lanterns and the warbat statue are. Alright. In Kurainism, slaying a priest is a sin most grave and dreadful. As such, Maya Fey's soul shall be plunged into the lowest level of Hiffle. The Hiffle of tickling? Huh? So, she's gonna be down there being tickled for all eternity? Anyways, there she shall be tickled without end for 500 million years. He said no, like he shook his head no, so that means he disagrees. You all saw it. He shook his head no. Okay, because if it went vertically, like up and down, well, he would agree. But he shook his head left and right, so that means a no, so he doesn't agree. You all saw that. This is a terrible fate indeed. Would the defense care to respond? And here I thought the lowest level of Hiffle was the Hiffle of back pain. I don't remember killing anyone, and I don't have that dagger or anything like it. As my client stated, she has no memory of the event as described by the prosecution. But more importantly, she had no motive to kill the high priest in the first place. Objection. Oh, don't worry. Everything will be revealed. Well, what's possible right now, so. I thought you might say that. Nevertheless, the meaningless prattle of lawyers is utterly ineffectual here in the Hall of Justice. For all will be made clear by her benevolence, Ray Padma Kurain's insights. So it is, and so it shall be. The divination seance reveals the truth for all to see. Here we go again. Bailiff, please show the royal priestess. All right. It's Princess Rafa. Oh, how beautiful her benevolence is. Looks again to take glory to the blah, blah, blah. You already know what everyone is going to say, no matter what. As popular as ever, I see. Rest assured, good people of Kurain, I will defeat this murderer and her abettor. Ouch! I hit my foot with my staff. I will resist the pain for now. So anyways, they shall not escape on their freedom express today. What a joy it is to have the royal priestess back in the Hall of Justice. May the Holy Mother grant us her divine favor. Ur Dihara Kurai. And I guess the people are gonna say it. She sure looks pleased with herself. And full of herself, really. Especially for someone who didn't know what Freedom Express was until yesterday. Is there something stuck to my face, barbed head? Well, I do see a zit above your dot makeup up there. No. Nothing, your benevolence. Now then, your benevolence, the divination seance, if you please. Very well. Nana, my robe. Pew.
O Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name. Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
And thankfully I can skip this. There we go. Like I said, I was only going to show that dance one time, and that's at the beginning of the first episode. So, alright, here we go. Wind. Incense. Footsteps. Pain. Okay. That's all we need to... Alright, so we got our last moments of the victim, so... The victim's Maitama has spoken. The divination seance is complete. Great. Another clearly incriminating seance vision. It could not be any clearer, O foul defense. The accused donned the sacred robes of Lady Kira and then attacked the victim. Exactly... Something's bothering me about that. And that is of course the amount of time it takes to put on that robe. All right, anyways, the accused donned the sacred robes of Lady Kira and then attacked the victim. He disagrees. He shook his head left and right. See? He disagrees. Oh, how very terrible it must have been. The figure of Lady Kira lit against the dim lantern light. The scent of incense growing ever more potent as she drew near. One can almost sense the horror Abbot in me must have felt. The facts are presented by her benevolence are indisputable. Well, they're about to be... things are about to change about that again. But that wasn't me. Do something, Nick. I'm working on it. That couldn't have been any clearer. Looks like I'm in for another uphill battle. The accused committed this vile act during our ancient tradition, the purification rite. Come to think of it, the Rite's Guide explains the multi-part purification rite in detail. The transformation rite. The high priest reads scripture while a priestess dons the robes of Lady Kira. The rite of water. Lady Kira enters the spring, and the high priest purifies her along with her dagger. The rite of fire. The priestess circles the sacred flames to purify her soul. Indeed, it would seem that the murder occurred during the transformation rite. We don't know that, but all will be revealed. The rite dictates that the high priest stand in front of the spring. Therefore, the accused must have attacked him from the direction of the broken lantern. Well, Barbed Head, would you care to object? Of course, because I know my client is innocent. So you say. You truly do not know when you are beaten, do you? I managed to pull it off last time with Albie. I'll just have to do it again. You intend to find fault with her benevolence's insights yet again? It would seem lawyers are Palkunan creatures indeed. Oh my goodness. Well, prepared to be astounded and amazed when we find contradictions in that divination seance. What exactly is a Palkunan? Someone who's a real piece of work, so to speak. They can call me anything that they want. The only thing I care about is uncovering the truth. So, Barbed Head, are you foolish enough to risk your life for your so-called truth? Because my insights are of the truth. To deny them to willingly dig your own grave. Alright, here we go. Rayfa's insight. The victim commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. As the first part, the transformation rite ended, he lowered the sutra. Suddenly, he heard the accused approaching footsteps and smelled her incense laden robes. Wait a minute. I heard no footsteps. Well, if there were footsteps, wouldn't the word footsteps appear? I'm positive I did not see the word footsteps there. It was then the victim felt an intense pain. I believe this is when he was stabbed. As his life's blood spilled over, his vision dimmed, till finally he passed from our world. That is everything the victim experienced in his final moments. Alright, so the diagram for the inner sanctum is updated. Shows where Maya and the high priest were during the rite. Dressed in the sacred robes of Lady Kira, the accused rushed the victim head-on. The brutal stabbing she perpetrated could not have been any clearer. Yes, it is plain for all to see. No, it wasn't me. A sudden drowsiness came over me during the transformation rite. I didn't even get a chance to put on Lady Kira's robes. You waste our time with such meaningless statements, accused. You cannot explain away the truths revealed by the royal priest's divine insight. Ooh, how did how'd you end up finding contradictions last time? Well, it's time for a refresher course. The five deceased final memories include all five senses. Oh, there were footsteps. Never mind. Apologies. Oh, you mean those words that appeared in the pool of souls? It looked to me like the bigger the word, the stronger the sensation was to the victim. Yeah, that's how it looked to me too. The sensations themselves are never wrong, only their interpretations. That's why I tried to point out mistakes in Rifa's insights the last time. So there could be contradictions between what Abbott Amy felt and her insights, huh? You got it, and I'm going to find them this time too. Should I check how to point contradictions in Rifa's insights? Go back to the first episode and you'll hear all you need to know. Nah, I remember how it works. Still, the sensations this time seem to fluctuate more than the ones from Albie's trial. In which case, I'd better keep an eye on changes in their intensity too. Okay, time to point out the sensations that contradict the insights. Let's see. Let me see. So the victim commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. At the first part, as the first part, the transformation rite ended, he lowered the sutra. Suddenly, he heard the accused approaching. He heard the accused approaching footsteps and smelled her incense-laden robes. He heard footsteps. Let's see. Let's see, when did those footsteps actually occurred? Okay, so he's reading the sutra there. So yeah, I'm hearing footsteps. Well, so there are footsteps, but the thing is, the way the murderer approached the abbot, like normally there would have been running, but in this case, oops, sorry. See, look at how it is. Like it feels like it was like one of those gliding thing, like to glide. Hmm. See. Wind. I apologize if this it's taking a bit too long. I think I might know. So one way to find out. Wind. Yeah, it has to be footsteps. Alright, let me go back. Alright, there we go. Let's see if I can move the arrow now. Oops. Start statement. There we go. And alright, there we go. Footsteps. Let's hope I'm right on this.
Objection!
The victim supposedly heard the accused approaching footsteps. But did he really? What nonsense is this? It is not abundantly clear. No, it's not. Because there is something strange about those footsteps. Strange? Explain yourself, barbed head. The footsteps are strange because... Well, yeah, the footsteps aren't loud. Because it felt like he was, like the murderer was approaching him like if he was floating in a way, like fast floating. There we go. I think that's what I was looking for. Because they don't get louder. Because if those footsteps were loud, the word footsteps would have gone. The word footsteps would you know the word would increase in size. But it didn't. It stayed like a small like a small word. So in other words, the bigger the word, then that means the louder the noise was. But since it didn't, you know, well, the word footsteps didn't grow, like it didn't go big. That's why the steps weren't loud enough. We're not getting any louder. And why exactly does that matter? Please focus your attention on the incense the victim smelled. The scent grows stronger and the accused approaches. If the accused really had approached the victim, the sound of her footsteps would have grown louder as the scent of incense grew stronger. Ah! Why, that makes perfect sense. How can this be explained, your benevolence? Well, there must be a reason.
Objection!
It is as they say, even a putrid worm of a lawyer will turn. What does that even mean? He's not exactly singing your praises, that's for sure. Still, we cannot discount this information solely on an account of its lawyerly source. Your benevolence. Perhaps you must listen more carefully to the abbot's Maitama. Listen more carefully? What's he talking about? In other words, he wants to make it even more difficult. That's my opinion. Yes, it would appear so. I shall try to refine the sensation. Refine the sensation? I can more accurately gauge sensations by deepening my communications with the Maitama. I didn't know you can do that. We have. Why have we never done this before? By refining a sensation, a clearer picture of the truth can be discovered. Oh, blessed Maitama, I beseech you, hear me now and respond to my call. The number you have dialed is experiencing technical difficulties. Please hang up and try again later. All right, the seance is being updated. So bells, footsteps changed into bells. What could this mean? Bells? The only bells at the scene of the crime were that jingling must have come from Abbot Inme's bells. Oh, right, the bells he had on. You mean those big things he had on his ankles? Well, there you have it. The sound of bells was from the high priest's own footsteps. Then that means, if the footsteps belong to the victim himself, it means it wasn't the victim who was moving, not the accused. The victim was the one who went running toward the broken lantern from the spring. A far cry from what her benevolence's insight would have us believe. Alright, so the inner sanctum diagram has been updated. Shows where Maya and the high priest were during the rite. Oh, it's basically the same flavor text. But why would the victim have approached the accused? Maybe he was trying to defend himself? Please explain. He could have felt threatened by Lady Kira standing there with a dagger. If so, he might have thought to overpower her before she attacked. Still your voices. This is nothing but a theory, and a poor one at that. And what proof do you have, Nina? Be not led astray by this lawyer's obvious postulation. Like I said, what proof do you have, Nina? While his insolence is inexcusable, I would ask that you calm yourself, your benevolence. Wouldn't want to repeat. Wouldn't want a repeat of what happened last time. Is there something you would care to say, prosecutors on Mahi? Even if it was Abedinmi who moved, it does not negate the accused's crime. What do you mean? The accused was likely waiting for the high priest to approach. And as he neared, she plunged the dagger into him. It is as simple as that. Oh, right. It really doesn't change much, does it? Yes, it is as the prosecutor has said. In fact, it is as I meant to say all along. Oh, she is full of it. Esta niña. She is so full of it. Right. My thoughts exactly. And that's why you were so shocked when you first heard it. Understand now, lawyer? That contradiction you conjured up has come to naught. Once I hone my insights, it will vanish like the dying rays of the sun. Alright, insight revised. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the broken lantern. As his life's blood spilled over, his vision dimmed, till finally he passed from our world. See, the fact that it was Abbot in me who moved changes nothing. Come on, Phoenix, you gotta keep your cool. That contradiction I pointed out must mean something. That one sensation changed after Princess Rafa refined her vision. It stands to reason that something else might have changed too, because of the refinement. I should focus on any sensations that have changed, while searching for more contradictions between them and her insights. Alright, so let's go back. Alright. Still, let's head back towards the third statement, which was brought up just now. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the broken lantern. Let's... I think I might know where it is, so let's go A, right here. Booyah! We hear bells, but also water.
Objection!
Hold it! How do we know the purification rite was performed exactly as it was supposed to be? Well, keep in mind that the whole area is curtained, you know, so the entire area is basically closed off. That's easy. The customs governing the rite are very clear, and Abbot Idmi would have adhered to them. Well, that's strange. Mr. Wright, would you care to explain just what is so strange? Yes, I would like to ask you to consider the sound of the victim's footsteps. Ooh, I apologize for any slowdown or any noise slowdown that you may have heard. The sound of bells changes to the sound of water at one point. What's this? It's simple. The victim must have stepped in some water. Oh? Yes. And the only source of water in the inner sanctum is the spring. And therein lies the contradiction. What contradiction? I believe the rite started out as it should have. The victim stood with his back to the spring, and the accused stood right in front of him. But we now know that the victim then moved into the spring. Palunka! That is absurd! This means the accused's location differs from what her benevolence's insight indicates. Then, where do you propose the accused stood once she donned Lady Kira's robes? Based on the sound of the victim's footsteps, I believe Maya was standing here. Alright, so where is it? Where is it that Maya stood? So basically, the question is, Where was Maya based on the victim's footsteps? Well, it had to be near the fountain. It's the only explanation there is, so I'm just gonna point to the spring here. I mean, it is a fountain, you know, because all I see is the curtain, the three lanterns, another curtain, and of course the broken lantern. So I'm just gonna stay. I'm gonna point to the fountain. Where else? So until this moment, we've all just assumed that Abbott and me and Miss Fey were standing there. Were sorry. Were standing where they were supposed to be, as shown in the Rite's guide. In short, the victim should have been standing with his back to the spring, and the accused in front. However, if that is how they were really standing, he couldn't have stepped into the spring as he approached her. The problem is the victim did step into the spring. This can only mean that Miss Fey had actually been standing in the water. But if this is true, then their positions would have been completely reversed. And also keep in mind that there was a curtain there, so no one was able to see what is actually going on in there. So, alright, so the inner sanctum diagram is updated, and it still says the same flavor text, so I'm not going to read that again. What is going on here, Miss Fey? Were you really standing in the spring? I'm sorry, but I barely remember anything about the rite. The high priest would never make such an obvious blunder, blah blah. Well, be that as it may, this does not overturn my insights. It doesn't? Let us say the accused was standing in the spring. So what? So what? This completely reverses their positions. Is what? That their positions differed from what it is customary is rather curious. However, what does that change? It certainly does not erase the accused's brutal crime. I guess you have a point there. You lawyers are an absurd breed. Never thinking ahead, you cling to the first insignificant contradiction you can muster. Sounds like Princess Rafa has a pretty good grasp on what lawyers are all about. Oh, Maya, where would I be without your brutally frank commentary right now? Is this contradiction really meaningless? But something really doesn't feel right. Did I take a wrong turn somewhere? Did I take a wrong turn at Albuquerque? I will now amend my insight to account for this new truth. Alright, insight revised. Alright, he rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the poolside lantern. That may explain that broken lantern. It's basically the same thing. Now, the contradiction is no more. But the truth of the matter still stands. No matter how you stubbornly you deny it. What do you have to say for yourself now, Mr. Wright? Nick, your Majesty, this lawyer may have raised a trivial objection, but her benevolence and insights have no further inadequacies of any kind. Yes, so it would seem. Wait a second, but there is another contradiction. I wouldn't shake that head of yours if I were you. Still you flounder about, wretched beast. Though you rack that putrid brain of yours, nothing worthwhile will come of it. Maya, please tell me you remember something that might help us out here. Sorry, I really don't remember a thing. But now that place I was standing in has changed. Who knows? That alone may cause a new discrepancy with Princess Rafa's insights. That's right. We now know that Maya was standing in the spring. A major change like that could very well produce a contradiction. I should take another look at that inner sanctum diagram in the court record and confirm where Maya and Abedinmi were standing, and then focus on finding any discrepancies between their positions and the insights. Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright. Alright, so back to the divination seance again. And again, go for statement number 3, that new statement. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the spring side lantern, which could, like I said, which could explain that broken lantern we saw during the investigation. All right, so let me go back here. Let's repeat that little. No, that's not it. Probably this one right here. Wind, huh?
Objection!
Ah, I messed up. I think I am right about it, but I just need to figure out. Yeah, I'm just gonna skip this here. Oh, I lost my first. So I'm just gonna skip this part right here. Okay, so where is it? Stop! So I'm right on this part. Okay, oop. Okay, select. And then I'm gonna go right here. Because that is the actual area where the broken lantern is. Oh, there's only one way to find out.
Objection!
Whoop, music stopped. That means I got it right. Oof. Alright. Your benevolence. I found a new contradiction. You did? No doubt it is but another of your vile attempts, to slander my insights. Nope. Take a good look at what the victim saw. It just might change your mind. The lantern flame behind the accused was flickering. There is nothing unusual about that, especially as the wind had stirred. Nope, that's where you're wrong. If the accused had been standing in the spring, then what you see here should be one of the lanterns flanking the statue. I failed to see your point. My point is, something is wrong here. Two lanterns flanking the statue were both fitted with glass wind guards. So neither lantern's flame should have been flickering in the wind in the first place. She seems pretty tickled, Nick. I don't remember saying anything funny. I failed sorry. I failed to see what you wish to prove here, but very well. I shall refine the vision and reveal the truth for all to see. Oh, blessed. Yeah, it's basically the same dialogue. Huh? That lantern doesn't have a wind guard on it. And rightly so. The wind guard was removed to reveal the sacred flame within the rite of fire. Therefore, there is nothing odd about the flickering about the flame flickering. Say what? But when we searched the crime scene, those lanterns had their wind guards on. That's because the police put them back on. The sacred flames have burned uninterrupted for hundreds of years, Defense. We could not risk them being extinguished, even during our investigation. That would... I never fly back home. Well, Barbed Head, are you done quibbling? If so, then it is time to bow down before this testimony of the Maitama. Nick, don't worry, Maya. I'm just getting started. All right, let's go over everything we know so far. Maya was wearing Lady Kira's robes and standing in the spring. The high priest is thought to have been moving toward her. So I should look for the sensations that stand in contradiction to this arrangement. I won't give up. I'm going to find a contradiction that will undermine the accusation against Maya. Alright, so we're back at the seance thing again. Oh my goodness. Still in the third statement. Wait a minute. He was moving. He was moving. Hold on. Let's see if I'm right. He was moving. Gotta make sure I have the right statement. Okay. There was no wind. What do you know? Yeah, I got that all wrong. There was no wind here.
Objection!
What could this possibly mean? That lantern clearly contradicts the insight, but this contradiction will overturn the entire case I've been building. Are you all right, Mr. Wright? One minute you shout out, and then the next you fall silent. Perhaps it is like the bellow of one who is barreling down a hill with no way of stopping. Is that not a right, Prosecutor Asad Mahi? Don't get cold feet now, Phoenix. Even if this overturns the entire case you've built so far, the only way to keep moving forward, because that's where we'll find the truth. Sorry, but I'm not barreling down a hill. In fact, I'm in full control of everything within the disputable contradiction I found. Is that so? The lantern behind the accused clearly, no, blatantly contradicts your insight. Does it now? One of the lanterns on the entrance side of the inner sanctum was broken, and if you watch Abbot Inmi saw in his final moments, you will notice that the lantern behind the praying form of Miss Fey is broken. The lantern behind Lady Kira, however, is still intact. In short, we are seeing two different lanterns in the seance vision. How can this be? And even if it were so, how would that contradict my insights? Let me start by saying the claim I'm about to raise will overturn the case I've built thus far. Will the defense please explain himself? Based on the broken lantern, we can tell... Let's see, what can we tell? Well, the lantern positions. The correct position of the lanterns. But did you not explain that yourself? Oh, did I? Oops. Sorry about that. I made a mistake. Sorry, blah, blah, blah. I know. Let's repeat it again. And that is... the accused was standing on... and I built my argument on that faulty premise. But thankfully, it has led us here to the actual spot where Maya Fey was standing. I thought it would have given me a second chance, but guess not. I must say, if the defense keeps changing its assertions into a capricious manner, its credibility may come into question. I'm willing to take that risk, Your Majesty, because I believe this will be the last time. I'd like to start by pointing out the actual spot where the accused was standing. Very well. Show us where you now believe the accused was actually standing. Based on the location of the lantern where Maya was really standing, well, isn't it by near the broken lantern? Or maybe close to the... Well, I can't go down. Well, this is as far down as I can go, so it has to be here where the entrance is, so... And you're sure it was there? Oh, my hand slipped. Sorry. Oh, it was well worth a try. Yeah, yes, I know. I gotta figure out where. It has to be near the entrance, so... Hmm. Where was Maya based on the broken lantern? Well, it had to be somewhere here, but I'll just... Hmm. Well, it has to be somewhere here.
Take that!
I wasn't thinking straight before, but it's now all falling into place. We know the victim had stepped into the spring. That means Maya Fey had to have been standing in the water as he approached. However, his memory, which has only now become clear, reveals that Miss Fey was standing by the side of the broken lantern. In other words, she was standing where she was supposed to be according to the custom. Does that not bring us back to the very beginning? Nope. This is where things take a different turn. And I mean that. Literally. The victim had to have been moving toward the spring. That means that while he was moving, he had his back turned towards the accused. What's this? Do you mean to say the victim turned around during the rite? But such an image appears nowhere in the seance vision. Actually, it does appear. It's just that no one noticed it until now. No one noticed? How could no one have noticed something so big? There was a moment when the scripture the victim was holding was all we could see. Thanks to that, none of us could tell that he was, in fact, turning around in that moment.
Objection!
If it is as the defense asserts, then her benevolence insights no longer make sense. How do you intend to explain that?
Objection!
I don't need to explain anything because it's just as you said, Prosecutor Sadbaki. Her benevolence insights don't make any sense because they contain a huge error. Such insolence! A huge error, you say? Do explain. The huge error is the number of people here. Oh, there, not here. Oops. I believe this is what happened at the scene of the crime. The victim was reading a sutra when suddenly he sensed someone behind him. He immediately looked back to see someone dressed as Lady Kira standing there. Wishing to see who it was, he approached the roped figure. Robbed. That's when he was stabbed. This cannot be! Oh, but it can. And it is. The insight stating the accused stabbed the victim is wrong. And that is the real truth lying behind this testimony of the dead. Palunka! Are you suggesting that there was someone else at the scene of the crime? Have I misunderstood? The voice of the Maitama? Yet again? This can't be. Ouchie. Phew, that was a close one. But I managed to divine the true meaning behind the seance vision somehow. I should add these new facts to the court record. Alright, so the diagram has been updated again. Still the same flavor text, which I'm not going to read. Your benevolence, please allow me to take it from here. I will overturn the brash accusations of this faithless, putrid-minded lawyer. Yes, I shall place my trust in you. And she is out of here. Are you sure about this, Prosecutor Mahi? My work as an international prosecutor has taken me to courtrooms around the world. And in that time, I've learned to perform last rites for souls in trial, lacking a seance. Yes, of course. Forgive my ludicrous inquiry. Moreover, I have with me a forensic investigator from overseas. I will show you all the most magnificent last rites ever seen. I guess he really does think highly of Emma and her forensic expertise. I'm impressed that he's come to understand their value. Then again, he is an international prosecutor who solved tough cases around the world. Time to hunker down, huh? Now then, let us continue with today's proceedings. Could the defense please tell us who the third party dressed as Lady Kira was? Your new claim has negated the insights of the royal priestess, so I trust you have some evidence to support it, correct? Yes, of course. This third party must have really wanted to kill the high priest. I might be able to identify who it was if I had evidence of their murderous intent. Well, we're waiting, Mr. Wright. The evidence that can reveal the identity of this third party is this. And thus we present the warning letter. I think this is a letter we found at the inner sanctum. A giant bloodstain makes it impossible to read. I think that was the actual letter. No, here it is. Lady Kira's warning. Alright. 3 days before the purification rite, the victim received a warning letter from an unidentified individual. He did? Whoever said it clearly meant to threaten the high priest. The letter said, "Do not perform the rite," but the rite went on as scheduled. I believe that is why the high priest was murdered. Who do you suppose sent that letter? A person with something to hide. The rebel hunter disguised as Lady Kira herself. Peace! I don't understand. I heard the Lady Kira that has been in the news of late only hunted rebels. If so, why would she have killed the high priest? Excellent question. Maybe it would help to think of it this way. What if the high priest had secretly been a rebel? The high priest? He couldn't possibly have been a rebel. The high priest? A devout follower of Kurainism? A rebel? Do you even comprehend the blasphemy of which you speak? Well, do you? I too found it hard to believe at first. But as I continued my investigation, it started to become more and more plausible.
Objection.
The third party was the rebel hunting lady Kira, and the high priest was a rebel? Your mockery of Kurainism, no. Of the kingdom of Kurain itself knows no bounds. Whoops. That shameless... oh my goodness. As a faithful Kurainist, I take issue with these claims. And I am loath to admit them into today's proceedings. I don't like where this is going. The defense claims are but vile. Oh my goodness. Where'd that come from? But a vile blasphemy tantamount to spitting on the Holy Mother. Is it really that big of a deal, Maya? Abbot Inmi was a distinguished monk, and very well respected too, so yeah. Please don't let this turn into an international incident. But fear not, good people of Kurain. The renting of this putrid-brained lawyer who seeks to sully the soul of the deceased shall come to no avail once I conclude these last rites. My hands. The prosecution assertion that the accused killed the victim remains unchanged. But the victim was stabbed in his abdomen. Sorry. How is that possible when he had his back toward Miss Fey? Someone else must have killed him.
Objection.
Are you sure about that? You may have invalidated the seance, but do not let it go to your putrid head. The karmic flow of this trial is, as yet, still in my hands. How can he be so confident? Something has occurred to me, you see. And your allegations of a third party are but a deluded fantasy. And I shall prove that by calling a new witness to the stand. An eyewitness who will deliver a definitive answer that will dispel the defense's doubts. An eyewitness? Very well. Let us call this eyewitness to the stand. Well, if it ain't Mr. Beardface. It's him again. Well now, he has to be the shaggiest witness I have ever laid eyes upon. Please state your name and occupation. Oh, I'm, that so-and-so. Whatchamacallit? Henshin? Yeah, as much as there's some words I can't pronounce, I'm gonna say it's anonymous TBD, or to be determined. So yeah, that is a pun. An anonymous TBD. I'm just gonna call you TBD or AT. At least that's what they've been calling me. TBD, as in to be determined. Can't you just tell us your real name? The witness has suffered a blow to the head, rendering him amnesiac. Therefore, I named him anonymous in my report, but he thinks TBD is part of his name. You're letting an amnesiac testify? Have no fear. I have already questioned him at length. While it is true he has utterly forgotten his name and past, his memory of what he witnessed is still very much intact. Considering the dearth of information, any new knowledge may be of help. Therefore, I will permit his testimony. Now, Mr. TBD, please tell us what you saw. All right, here we go. The night of the murder. All right, here we go. That night, I was at the top of Mount Pony Pony, the mountain next to the inner sanctum. I hate crowds, so I climbed up there to pray in peace. I know it's a no-no, but since there was no one around, I used my binoculars to spy on the right at the inner sanctum. That's when I saw the accused stab the high priest with a dagger. I know who he is, but I'll leave that to your imaginations. There's no way you saw Miss Fey stab the victim with a dagger. I swear I don't know what he's talking about, or don't remember at any rate. Mount Pony Pony, the beautiful mountain that is also known as the Little Sanctum. They must be talking about that smaller mountain from the poster. Mr. TBD, I was wondering, what can I do for you? The inner sanctum lies at a high elevation where clouds and fog can obscure the view. Are you sure you were able to see what happened next? I mean, from the mountaintop next to it. Good point. His Majesty raises an excellent question. Well, Mr. TBD, on the day of the rite, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. I had a perfect view. If you don't believe me, check the weather forecast in the paper that day. Nick, don't we have the newspaper for that day? Yeah, let's take a look. All right. It does say calm, clear skies. Doesn't it? Let's see. May 9th newspaper weather forecast. The area around the inner sanctum will enjoy calm, clear skies today. The warmer temperature will make for excellent prayer weather. Be warned, however, that we'll see a cold front move in overnight. See? Told you so. Alright, so the paper has been updated. The May 9th newspaper, a newspaper from this morning of the Purification Rite. It reports on the weather and Lady Kira's activity, among other things. Well, it would appear the witness has offered testimony worth hearing. Mr. TBD, I too have a question for you. Didn't you already question the witness? Well, that's what I'm here for, right? Shoot! How was the accused holding the dagger? Was she holding it underhanded? Its blade protruding from the bottom of her hand? Yep, I believe she was. It's called a reverse grip. How does this guy know about that? Ah, I thought as much. Hold it right there. What bearing does that have on this case? Cease your interruptions, you putrid-headed lawyer. Do you not see the significance in how the blade was held? Why don't you enlighten me, oh enlightened one? I knew you were a fool. I can already picture you in your next life. Next life? Yes, after your soul rides for centuries in the pits of Hiffle, you shall be reborn as a witless sea urchin with barbs limited to your posterior. You shall live a short, inconsequential life, only to be brutally devoured by a sea otter. That was a bit excessive. I simply asked what the dagger grip had to do with the case. Now pay attention. How the accused held the dagger is of vital importance. With such information, we can infer exactly what actions she took. You were saying that the victim was killed while he had his back to the accused. Is that correct? Yes. As such, the accused dagger grip tells us something very important. The accused approached the victim from behind, swung her arms around him, and plunged the dagger deep into his abdomen using a reverse grip. What? Thus, Mr. TBD's testimony clears up any doubts that might remain. And it concedes with her benevolence's insights as well. This is a disaster. I thought I'd blown those insights out of the water, but now they're back to haunt me. Now then, the defense may cross-examine the witness. Alright, here we go. Let's see. The night that I was up at the top of Mount Pony, the mountain next to the inner sanctum. I hate crowds, so I climbed up there to pray in peace. I know it's a no-no, but since there was no one around, I used my binoculars to spy on the right at the inner sanctum. Let me go back to the fourth statement. I used my binoculars to spy on the right at the inner sanctum. How though, if the curtain was in the way? Let's present that. The curtain, I mean. There we go. The ritual curtain. As you can see, It's blocking the entire sanctum.
Objection!
Your Majesty, I had my doubts about this bushy bearded witness, but now I know we can't trust him. What? You ain't judging me solely on my bodacious beard, are you? Not at all, Mr. TBD. It's much more than your sketchy appearance. It's your sketchy testimony. His testimony, you say? Yes. Recall how the inner sanctum was that day. Specifically, that it was completely enclosed by the ritual curtain. Why, yes, I believe you're right. The curtain would have completely blocked the witness's view from Mount Pony Pony. Therefore, he couldn't possibly have seen the murder happen. Hoo-ha! Mr. TBD, have you been knowingly making false statements to this court? Well, you got me. The witness will lower his voice. I didn't actually see the accused herself. He didn't actually see the accused herself? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, excuse me, my stomach's growling. I'm not kidding. I'm a little hungry right now, so I'll be right back. Cut. Sorry about that. Alright, so what's that supposed to mean? Let me set the record straight. I beg you. Alright. Here we go. Our next testimony. The night of the murder. Amended. Here we go. I saw their shadowy silhouettes projected against the ritual curtain. The figures were created by the light of the full moon on that clear and still night. She was just a shadow, but I could tell it was the accused. Reverse gripping that dagger. Shadows? That's what you saw? That's right. I could see what was going on by the shadows projected onto the ritual curtain. In the future, please, Mr. TBD, I would rather you offer up accurate testimony from the start. Forgive me, my main man, Mr. Magistrate. Chalk it up to my fuzzy memory. Though he saw but shadows, it is still valuable testimony. You have to be kidding me. What are we gonna do now, Nick? All I can think of is to look for inconsistencies between the actual Rite and what Mr. TBD says he saw. Now then, the defense may cross-examine the witness once more. Alright. Alright, here we go. I saw their shadowy silhouettes projected against the ritual curtain. The figures were created by the light of the full moon on that clear and still night. Let me see about that. Oh, full moon on that clear, still night, huh? Let's see what Phoenix has to say as I present the Rights Guide.
Objection!
You saw silhouettes projected by the moonlight? Sorry, but that's just not possible. What do you mean? How's it not possible that it was totally possible? That's impossible. I think I'm going to need a logic, please. Translation on that. Let's take a look at this Rite's guide. Shall we, Mr. TBD? The Rite is held when the moon is directly over the summit of Mount Pony Pony. Do 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 do. So if the moon was shining west, from the west, any shadows would have been cast eastward. But Mr. TBD was standing to the west of the inner sanctum on Mount Pony Pony. Oh, holy mother! That's right. Sorry, my throat is getting weird. Anyways, it was I said Holy Mother the wrong way, so I apologize. Cause my throat's, oh my goodness, what is wrong with me? That's right. Our witness here couldn't have seen any shadowy figures on that curtain. No way. He perhaps it was the sacred flames of the lanterns that cast shadows he saw? I'm afraid not. I inspected them during my investigation, but the flames were too small to cast the distinct figures Mr. TBD claims to have seen. But I did see those the silhouettes. Really? But how could he, Nick? Maybe he was someplace where they were visible. Wait, don't tell me. Your Majesty? If Mr. TBD really did see those shadows, it brings a brand new fact to light. And that would be... The brand new fact that comes to light, if Mr. TBD really did see those shadows, it's either A, he didn't see the murder, or he was somewhere else. Well, he was somewhere else. He wasn't where he claimed to be at the time of the murder. Oh, then where do you propose the witness was? Someplace where he could have seen the shadowy figures, naturally. Wait, you mean... None of the mountains east of the inner sanctum are close enough for a good view. That leaves only one place he could have clearly seen the shadows from. And where might that be? This is where Mr. TBD was at the time of the murder. And that is the inner sanctum itself. Mr. TBD was at the inner sanctum, just outside the curtain on the east side. That's the only place from which he could have seen the shadowy figures. Hoo-ha! Really? Wow, I didn't even think of that. But wasn't the inner sanctum off limits to all but the victim and the accused? And the third party who was there, you mean? I get the feeling that's a subject Prosecutor Sadmahi would rather not touch right now. You mean... That's right. This witness was at the scene of the crime, which means he is the mysterious third party we saw during the divination seance. He could be the one who dressed as Lady Kira and killed the High Priest. Gooey, good gee, Gogi?
Objection.
How is it pronounced? Googie. And what? And then objection by Nayuta. No one but the two participants were allowed anywhere near the inner sanctum, and the only way up there are the stairs that start down at the Plaza of Devotion. So tell me, how do you propose the witness entered that sacred space? Oh, he must have. I haven't thought that far ahead. The sanctum has sheer cliffs on three sides and the steep, towering rock face on the other. No one could have made it there by climbing the faces of those cliffs. His Majesty speaks truth. To say Mr. TBD was at such an inaccessible location is a bit to tarnish his credibility. Is that not right? Right. I wasn't at the inner sanctum. No sir, no how. At least I'm pretty sure I wasn't. Then, what about those silhouettes you claim to have seen? I'm starting to think I've been imagining things. What? This is insane! I knew we couldn't trust that lawyer. He's trying to frame the witness. Peace! Peace, I say! This is impossible. Unless I can show how he got to the inner sanctum. It just looks like I'm trying to slander Mr. TBD. I believe in you, Nick. Rah, rah, rah. Sis, boom, ba. Fight, Phoenix, right. Okay. Just look at the accused. Has she no shame? What's your problem, lady? Phoenix Wright is very trustworthy, I'll have you know. She's got some nerve for a criminal. I bet that lawyer poisoned her mind. Please, Maya, you're only making it worse. Well, she's speaking the truth, you know. Phoenix has a lot of victories in his record, so yeah. I appreciate the vote of confidence, but it's probably best to keep it to yourself for now. I would advise the defense to think carefully before making any more sudden outbursts. Yes, Your Majesty. If it wasn't the bad guy before, if I wasn't the bad guy before, I definitely am now. Now, Mr. TBD, I would like you to think back carefully before you testify next about where you were that night. Alright, here we go. I wasn't at the inner sanctum. Here we go. I never was at the inner sanctum, I tell ya. That much I'm sure of, even with the fuzzy memory. Besides, it would have been impossible to get in there in the first place. Boy, you lawyers sure are scary. Alright then. I guess it might have been impossible for him to get to the inner sanctum like he claims, but now will you desist in trying to frame this innocent witness? Yeah, I'd like you. I'd like to see you explain. Be quiet, the whole lot of ya. Mr. Wright, is it not time to end these cross-examinations? Can I skip this part? A moment of desperation leads to 100 million years of torment. It means that for each moment a sinner spends struggling to deny others' sins, 100 million years of torment are added to their time in Hiffle. Korainism is the strictest religion ever. No kidding. And just so you know, you've already occurred 200 million extra years. Plus the 5 million years they started with, that's 700 million years. Sure, what's another 200 million, give or take? Well, it's a big deal to me. I can't keep saying that the witness was there at the inner sanctum if I can't prove it. Excuse me. The problem is, how am I going to do that? Alright, cross-examination time. Let's see. I was never at the inner sanctum, I tell ya. That much I'm sure of it, even with the fuzzy memory. Besides, it would have been impossible to get there in the first place. Let's press on that.
Hold it!
I wonder if it really was impossible for you to get to get the inner sanctum. If you have something to say, just say it. Couldn't there have been another way to get there? A way that wouldn't attract attention? No, there isn't. Which means there is. Perhaps the defense would share its theory with us. I don't even have a wild guess, let alone a theory, though. It's time to reach into my bag of bluffs. To reach the inner sanctum without attracting any attention, that would require he fell from the sky. Maybe you fell from the sky? Har, 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 har. The lawyer thinks he's a comedian now. I was wondering what crazy theory you would propose next. Well, defense, let's hear it. Mr. TBD could have parachuted down. We already know the weather was clear, and there was no wind to speak of. Perfect weather for skydiving, I'd say. Well, it's not impossible. Really, it's not really that impossible unless... Recall those flags, those weird flags we saw in the inner sanctum. Well, in this case, outside of it. Let's see if I have a picture of it. Let's see. No. Booyah! There it is. Let me switch here. Let's show the details. Yeah, remember those weird flags we saw? I think it's time to bring this piece of evidence out there, you know? Alright, let's go back. Now that you've been backed into a corner, your delusions grow even more and more delusional. The inner sanctum is on a tiny ledge upon a sheer cliff over 2,000 meters tall. One misstep and a skydiver would soon find themselves in the Twilight Realm. Yeah, I don't care how still the wind is. Even I couldn't have made that jump. Wait, what's this building on top of the sacred mountain? That is the Royal Penitentiary number 4. Oh, right. Princess Rafa I mentioned there was a prison up there. How do you get your prisoners up there anyway? By helicopter, but only with authorization from the Minister of Justice. He's the only one who can approve flights that pass over the inner sanctum. Alright, so the poster has been updated. A poster and a photograph of the entire inner sanctum at Mount Pony Pony area. Oh, and Mount Pony Pony area. Might I also add, defense, that no parachute or any other equipment necessary for skydiving have been found. Are you saying I fell down through there by flapping my arms? I may be an incredible dude, but I'm not even capable of doing that. Well, please add that statement to your testimony, Mr. TBD. It's not like I can fly through the air either. About that. Remember them flags I mentioned? Let's bring them out, shall we?
Objection!
Mr. TBD is right. He couldn't have skydived down there without any gear. Well now, finally come around, have ya? Now you see that I couldn't have possibly been there at the inner sanctum. Right. If you didn't have any gear, that is. What on earth are you talking about? That overreaction is a dead giveaway that I'm on the right track. Take a look at this piece of evidence. Those are prayer flags, are they not? Yes, but they have been sewn together to create one big banner. A banner that could also function like a parachute. Paunka! The people of Kurain are so used to seeing prayer flags that the police didn't even think twice about these flags during their investigation. No, this cannot be. The witness landed at the inner sanctum by using these prayer flags as a parachute. Is that not right, Mr. TBD? Yeah, I'm trying really hard to read it, but I can't. There's no way out. I'm surrounded. Mr. TBD? All this talk jogged my memory. I guess I was there at the inner sanctum after all. Now he has to explain to us why he was there. Because that evidence proves that he was there, but the reason we have to know is why. As I suspected, there were 3 people there that night. You did it, Nick. You weren't wrong after all. Thanks? Mr. TBD, you were the one disguised as Lady Kira that night, weren't you? What? No way, no how. It's like this. Oh yeah. I was only there at the inner sanctum by accident. By accident? Exactly. And that thing's not a parachute. It's a homemade paraglider. They can mean 2 things, you know. A paraglider and a parachute. If you're able to control them, then aren't they the same thing? A paraglider? Are you telling me you could fly using that patchwork mess of material? It may not look like much, but it's as sturdy as can be. I rode the wind like an eagle, going higher and higher from my earthly launching point. But the thing is, what was that launch point there? That can only mean one thing. Let's take a look at the map. No, well, I could have sworn that there was another map here. Well, I guess it's the only one I can think of. Well, the only launch point where he would have made it is from up there. Oh, there it is. Right at the prison. It's the only way. That's the only way where he could have jumped, and with that paraglider or parachute, land safely down here, and hence that explains those sewn flags there behind the curtain. So, anyways, back to where I was. But then something happened that forced me to land in the inner sanctum. So you just happened to land there? You expect me to believe that? Now, please calm yourself, Mr. Wright. However, the fact that the witness was at the inner sanctum is crucial testimony indeed, and it certainly warrants further explanation. Therefore, let's continue with more testimony. All right. So why was he there at the inner sanctum? Hence our title of this testimony. Why I was at the inner sanctum. Here we go. That evening, I was enjoying a trek through the night sky with my homemade paraglider. But just as my pony was drawing near, something terrible happened. An accident forced me to make an emergency landing at the inner sanctum. As I landed, I banged my head, causing me to lose my memory. So you see, I ended up at the inner sanctum purely by accident. Really now? Okay then. Mr. TBD, you failed to mention any of this during your pre-trial questioning. Can't be helped. I mean, I'm just remembering it now. Continues such slipshod testimony, and you will be cast into the hiffle of hangnails, where you shall have hangnails grown and ripped out for 800 million years. Oh, this nonsense. Ooh, huh. I think I'll pass on that. Looks like that caught Prosecutor Sarmadi off guard. This is my chance to rip his case to shreds. Right, here we go. Here we go. Let's see, that evening I was enjoying a trek through the night with my homemade paraglider. But just as Mount Pony was drawing near, something terrible happened. An accident forced me to make an emergency landing at the inner sanctum. So what was this accident he's talking about? Let's press on that. What exactly was this accident you had? Good question. Now, what was it again? Wind? Oh yeah, it was the wind. And not just any wind, but a sudden gale of force wind made me lose control. The wind was strong enough to make you lose control? You got that right. Okay then, please add that to your testimony. Alright, new bit of testimony. Gale force winds came out of nowhere, so I made an emergency landing at the sanctum. Didn't they just say... Okay, so he said a gale force wind. So let's take a look at the weather. Let's see, where's that weather forecast? Aha! Alright. So, the weather forecast says the area around the inner sanctum will enjoy calm, clear skies. The warmer the temperature will make for an excellent prayer weather. Be warned, however, that we'll see a cold front move in overnight. So, keyword here, the key phrase, the key part is this. Enjoy calm, clear skies today. Well, to be honest, sometimes we do get wind, even though it's a clear, we have clear skies, I think. Anyways, let's switch back and present the paper.
Objection!
We have a saying in my country, Mr. TBD. One lie begets another. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? It means someone caught. It means someone caught lying will lie again in an attempt to conceal their first lie. In other words, this current testimony is just a blatant lie. You're telling to cover your tracks. What did you just say? You claim gale force winds caused you to lose control, but this newspaper has the weather report for the day of the murder. It says the area around the inner sanctum will enjoy calm, clear skies today. Palunka! Well, why, I do believe it does say that. One night begets another. That makes sense, but is it really saying? Is it really a saying back home? I've never heard of it. Yeah, I kind of made that one up. For real? Your Majesty, the witness's testimony contains another flaw, one that's even more fatal to his cause. More fatal, you say? The defense will explain himself at once. Mr. TBD claims he was flying up around the inner sanctum with his paraglider, but it would have been impossible to get all the way up there without any wind. Why, yes, I believe you're right. But we know the witness was at the inner sanctum. So, Mr. TBD, how did you get there, and from where? Without any wind, he couldn't have flown up there from the bottom of the mountain. By process of elimination. The only starting point that makes any sense is... Your Majesty, I believe I have the answer to your question. To reach the inner sanctum, Mr. TBD must have launched himself from here. And that is... where else? The prison. Or the mountaintop, if you want to call it.
Take that!
Ooh, huh? Are you insane? That's where he came from? If he couldn't have come from below, the only other option is from above. So you see, Anonymous came down from Royal Penitentiary number 4. From there, he could have easily reached the inner sanctum by parachute. And that means he might have also killed the High Priest. What? Mr. TBD, were you the third party at the inner sanctum? And the one behind the warning to halt the Rite that the victim received? Was it you we saw in his final memory? Are you the rebel hunter, Lady Kira? Hoo-ha! Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, sir, help me out here. You did it. You finally left him speechless. Oh, come on, Mr. Prosecutor, man. Quiet, you fool. Sorry. You should use this time to prepare yourself for what is to come. For a fate far worse than Hangnail Hiffle awaits you now. Well done, defense. I must concede of this point to you. The witness did, in fact, descend to the inner sanctum from Royal Penitentiary number 4. Huh? He didn't even put up a fight this time. That's awfully generous of him. But if you are as perceptive as you seem, then surely you've already figured out the riddle. The riddle of an Anonymous's true identity. Oh, his true identity? Not sure I know quite yet, but I guess I'll have to answer with something. It would seem I am the only one still in the dark here. Would the defense care to enlighten me? Who is this man who's been calling anonymous? The witness's true identity is, and thus we present the wanted poster. Is this really him? Only now do you realize the truth. Well, please do share with us with your belated insight. What's wrong, Nick? Just say it. Because this isn't going to be very helpful to our case. Really? Are you sure? Unfortunately, I've got no other choice. That scruffy beard and shaggy mane completely threw me off. But it's all becoming clear now. The nighttime base jump from the mountaintop prison. The precision landing at the inner sanctum using only a homemade parachute. Only a paratrooper, or more precisely, a former paratrooper, could have pulled that off. This witness is That's Our Ball, prison escapee, and a key member of Dirk's rebel group. What? Gah! The witness is an escaped prisoner? Precisely. The police have been scouring every corner of the city to no avail. Meanwhile, here he was under our noses the entire time. Hoo-ha! Didn't think anyone would see through my clever disguise. But the witness's charade is not all that has to be the witness's charade is not all that has been shattered. Is it, defense? Boy, do I hate this guy. Please recall the defense's own words. Whoever sent it clearly meant to threaten the high priest. The letter said, "Do not perform the rite," but the rite went on as scheduled. I believe that is why the high priest was murdered. Who do you suppose sent that letter? A person with something to hide. The rebel hunter disguised as Lady Kira herself. He claimed that the real killer was the rebel hunter disguised as Lady Kira. Yeah, and what's your point? What of the witness's true identity? Only a paratrooper, or more precisely, a former paratrooper, could have pulled that off. This witness is That's Our Ball, prison escapee and key member of Dirk's rebel group. Oh no! He is a rebel and an escaped prisoner. He could not possibly have been Lady Kira, mortal enemy of the rebels. No! Now, perhaps the witness will enlighten us to the truth. After all, he has yet to refute any of this. Hoo-ha. You got me. I am the razor sharp fangs of the defiant dragons. Henshin. That's our ball. When did you get your memory back? Oh, around the time you were talking about there being no wind. But you gotta give me credit for making up all that testimony off the top of my head. Are you prepared to tell us the truth? Well, it's true. I parachuted down to the inner sanctum, but I banged my head on impact and ended up unconscious outside the ritual curtain. In short, all my eyewitness testimony was a big fat lie. A big fat lie? Oh, and by the way, long time no see, Yudi. Wait, they know each other? Your Majesty, this filthy rebel belongs in a jail cell. Oh, yes, of course. Bailiff, seize him at once. Seems you really have forgotten the will of the dragon, huh, Yudi? But I haven't, and no dogs of the Garan regime are gonna lay a finger on me. Alley-oop! Deploy all of available resources. I want all units on high alert. Oh boy, this is getting more exciting. The escaped prisoner escaped again. The police force has been placed on high alert. He will be caught before long. An escaped prisoner who escaped the law again after giving a ton of false testimony? Talk about a troublemaker. He really pulled a number on all of us. What was the point of all that anyway? Well, I can't help but feel that that entire episode was an enormous waste of time. Your Majesty, perhaps it was not as great of a waste as you might believe. What makes you say that, Sadmahi? That's Arbal dropped something as he made his escape from these halls. That scrap of paper looks awfully familiar. These appear to be direct orders from Dirk. From Dirk? The rebel leader? Oh, but we only have a small corner of it. Wait, I remember now. Your Majesty, I've seen that scrap of paper before. You have? The scrap of paper that's Arbal dropped is a part of this. Thus we present the blood-stained letter. And this is... I found it at the scene of the crime. It appears to be a copy of that order Mr. Arbal dropped. If we put if we put the two together, we should be able to read what the order says. Oh my! And just what does it say, Mr. Wright? I can't read Chinese. Ah, Prosecutor Mahi, if you please. The ignorant lawyer has not bothered to learn our language? Very well then. I do not understand. Well, what does it say? Using the lamplights as a landmark, he was to parachute down to the inner sanctum. Upon the rite's completion, he was to don Lady Kira's robes and make his escape. What? That is how he was to escape from prison? So, if I were to assume that Mr. Arbal was the one who killed the high priest, then maybe it was because Abbot Inmi tried to thwart his escape plan. Oh, foul lawyer. I'm afraid that is simply ludicrous. Huh? But I didn't say anything. Did he just read my mind? I know how your putrid mind works. Excuse me. Unfortunately for you, however, now that the rebels' escape plan has been revealed, it is clear that that's Arbal is not the High Priest's killer. How can you be so sure? If only you would see that putrid brain of yours every once in a while. That's Arbal's plan could not have worked without the help of a certain individual. What do you mean? I am speaking of Abbot Inmi, of course. Had that's Arbal simply donned Lady Kira's robes and made his escape alone, he would have been far too conspicuous. But were he by the high priest's side. The faithful citizens praying in the plaza would have had no cause to suspect anything. It is therefore unthinkable that's Arbal was the high priest's killer. Sorry, on my throat. So what I meant to say was, I hope that was better. So then, you're saying the high priest was a... Oh, I cannot bear to say it. I'm afraid it is so. He numbered among the rebels who threaten our kingdom. How could this be? The high priest? A rebel? There must be some kind of mistake. Let it go and move on. Accept the truth. It is the only way. And that goes to double for you, defense. Cease your feudal battle now. And why should I? Because I will now put the final nail in the coffin of the accused. Now that we have eliminated that's Arbal from our list of suspects, there is only one person that still remains. The accused, Maya Fey. Hold it right there. Aren't you forgetting something important? Something important? Please do explain, defense. We can't end this trial without looking into the third party. I'm talking about the true identity of the Lady Kira we saw in the seance vision. If that wasn't that's our ball, then who was it?
Objection.
That matter has already been resolved. It has? What's he talking about? It is as I have maintained from the start. There was no third party in the seance vision. But there was another Lady Kira there besides Maya Fey. We all saw her. What the? I can't I'll point my finger. It is time to let it go and move on. Your fate has already been sealed, much like your arm. This hardly seems fair. It is quite simple once you've consider where the victim and the accused were at the time. If the victim was near the spring with his back to the accused, what would he see ahead? Besides the water itself, there is nothing but the Warbat statue. Precisely. The Lady Kira we saw in the seance is the Warbat statue wrapped in her sacred robes. No way! If you think that it is, then who sent that letter to the high priest to telling him to not go to go through with the rite of purification? Who sent that letter? That's still a mystery. The accused wanted the false Lady Kira to appear in the seance vision. Before she came from behind and stabbed the victim with the dagger in a reverse grip. But why would the accused want to do something like create a false Lady Kira to show it to the victim as he was being slain? And what a reason would the accused have to fool the victim she was about to kill? It was not the victim she was trying to fool. It was this very court itself. Come again? Suspicious would not fall on the accused if it looked as if another Lady Kira was there, and the defense was foolish enough to fall for it and claim it was a third party in the disguise. Are you saying? I am. It was all a cleverly wicked scheme perpetrated by the accused. A scheme in which she sought to use the seance vision to mislead us. This can't be happening. What a face you are making, defense. I am surprised you are taking this so hard. After all, did I not clear? Sorry. After all, did I not clearly state a while back that you were chasing after not but a deluded fantasy? It's basically the same what he was saying earlier. So I'll skip that. You're telling me he knew that this, how it would turn out all the way back then, and that he was just waiting for the most effective moment to spring it on me? Do you understand now? I've had you dancing in the palm of my hand this entire time. It it can't be. This is an outrage. You took our royal priestess' sacred divination seance and used it to commit this most foul and despicable murder? No, I didn't do any of the sort. Maya, Nick, it's not true. I didn't.
Objection.
Cease this ugly display. Your fate is sealed. Now that the facts have been exposed. Your Majesty, the time has come to convict this criminal who only seeks to taint this sacred hall. Indeed, it seems this trial is over. Does the defense wish to offer up yet another counter argument or something? The accused is not the killer, and here's why. Now what do? I've got nothing. It would appear that the defense has run out of arguments to make. I thought for sure that the rebel was the killer, the only person with a possible motive. The one addressed as Lady Kira has vanished, and I've got nothing to use against Prosecutor Sadmahi's argument. Darn it! I can't lose now. Not like this. Very well then. I shall now render my verdict. Wait! Please wait! I'm begging you! It is time to let it go and move on. This trial need not to be drawn out any longer. The defense has failed to counter the charge filed by the prosecution. In accordance with the law, I invoke the DC Act against the defense. Now then, this court finds the accused Maya Fey and the defense Phoenix Rite Uh-oh. Ah! Your Majesty, please forgive the interruption, but what is the meaning of this? A body has been found in the Plaza of Devotion, Your Majesty. What's this? A body? What happened now? And we found this sticking out of the victim. Why, that's Lady Kira's warbad dagger. Lady Kira, she has returned from the Twilight Realm once more, and she has defeated the rebels. Peace! Well, it would seem that the dagger that was once lost has now been found. I have one more thing to report. Yes? This dagger. It bears the fingerprints of Maya Fey on it. What? But why would Maya's prints be on it? I cannot believe it, yet it must be true. Is something the matter, Prosecutor Sadmahi? This trial has run its course, and the accused's guilt has been firmly established. However, it would seem the defense was right about one thing. I was? You claimed that the murder at the Inner Sanctum had been carried out by the rebel hunter masquerading as Lady Kira. I did say something to that effect, but what of it? Prosecutor Sadmahi, are you suggesting what I think you are? I believe the true identity of the rebel hunter who has been masquerading masquerading as Lady Kira is none other than the accused, Miss Maya Fey. What? Me? What? I realize how shocking this must seem. Looking back, however, I now realize there was much that pointed to this fact. The rebel hunting Lady Kira was first sighted about 2 years ago, and the accused first came to our kingdom 2 years ago as well. Why? The timing matches perfectly. But there is more. That warning letter was found in the High Priest's bedroom 3 days before the rite. Despite his house being locked up tight that night.
Objection!
How does that prove anything?
Objection!
It is difficult to believe an intruder could have possibly found a way to enter such a secure house. However, the accused was known to come and go freely there, mainly to prepare the purification rite. Abbot Amy was an important figure with ton of duties, including training acolytes. He was really kind, even to a foreigner like me. He even invited me over to his house whenever I was between training sessions. Oops, excuse me. The accused could have easily left the house unlocked for herself without anyone noticing. No! And thus, the Lady Kira warning letter has been updated. A warning from Lady Kira to Abbot Idmi. Only someone capable of entering the priest's home could have delivered it. If we assume that the accused was Lady Kira, that more than establishes her motive for killing the High Priest. Yes, the victim was secretly an insurgent, bent on helping the Arbal escape after all. Precisely. That made him a target of Lady Kira's wrath. And after killing the High Priest, she then unleashed her divine justice on another rebel. So, it seems the scope of this case has expanded. We now have 2 murders perpetrated by Miss Maya Fey, masquerading as Lady Kira. If Miss Fey is indeed a serial killer, it would affect the severity of her punishment. In light of this, I believe this second murder must be investigated before we can proceed. As you wish, Your Majesty. Maya Fey, I hereby charge you with this second murder. May your defiled soul feel the weight of your sins. A new murder charge on top of a guilty verdict? It seems the defense will live to see one more day. Talk about hanging on by a thread. Come tomorrow, a far more terrible punishment awaits you. I hereby suspend these proceedings so that the second murder may be investigated. Until the conclusion of this new investigation, this court is adjourned. Magistrate out! Oh boy. This is getting much more worse for Maya. So who is this real third party that not only sent that warning letter, but killed Abbott in me? Who is this real culprit? Well, we're gonna have to wait until next time when we do another investigation. So, until then, everyone, take care and God bless. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, and share with all your family and friends. If you're enjoying my content, consider subscribing to the channel, and don't forget to click that bell to receive notifications for new videos. Take care, and God bless.